Yes, people, let us start. Sir, the preamble of FEMA. Sir, why was FEMA introduced, or what is the need of FEMA? As we discussed, it is an act to consolidate and amend. Previously, how many ever laws were there? This act will consolidate all those laws and it will replace all those laws with the objective of facilitating the external trade and payments, you doing a trade with outsiders and making the payments, for promoting an orderly development and maintenance of the forex market in India. So to maintain and develop the foreign exchange market in India. Yes, sir. Extent and application. Section 1, to whom and all FEMA is applicable? FEMA is applicable to whole of India. So to the entire India it is applicable. Next one, in addition, sir, why is it like whole of India including Jammu and Kashmir? Yeah. In addition, it shall also apply to all branches, offices, agencies outside India owned or controlled by PRI, person resident in India. For now, you do not know what is person resident in India, but I'll give you an example what they are talking about. Imagine, sir, there is a company called Infosys. Infosys is situated in Bangalore, their head office. Yes, sir. So it is basically the shareholders are all Indians. Majority is held with Indians. Sir, Infosys has set up a branch office in New York. Infosys has set up a branch office in New York. Infosys has set up a branch office in Australia. Sir, they are saying if at all there is any branch or any office or any agency which you have set up outside India, but who is controlling it? Sir, it is being controlled by the person who is resident in India. If the control is with these people, then they are saying FEMA will apply even to the branch or offices or agency which is situated outside India. Clear, all of you? That is what they are saying. Also, if at all there is any contravention, even that contravention will also apply to them. Meaning, if they have not committed, if it is outside India, if whatever is a non-compliance, now these people have done it outside India, even they will be liable. So, first thing they say, FEMA is applicable to entire India and also to the offices, branches or agencies which are set up outside India and controlled by person resident in India. Do not break your head on this, because to explain that I'll be at least taking 20 minutes of your time. So don't break. Sir, if there is any non-compliance, even on that also it is applicable. Yes, sir. All of you clear? Okay. Sir, definitions, people. Authorized person, I'll be teaching this when we are doing the concept. Capital we'll be doing when we are doing. Sir, currency. Now in this particular chapter, if you find the word currency means currency includes all, not only cash, people. Currency notes, postal notes, any postal money orders, check, draft, traveler's check, bills of exchange, promissory notes, credit cards, or any similar instruments used by RBI. So everything is currency, people. Everything is currency. Getting the point? Sir, we understood everything. We did not understand what is this traveler's check. What is this traveler's check, people? Nowadays, traveler's check is almost not there. But yes, American Express is a little famous for this traveler's check. What generally happens, people? Imagine when you want to go to a country outside India. It can be any country. You cannot take your currency there. Your currency will not be accepted there. So what you need to do, you need to convert your currencies in India and go. Or you can take a little cash of yours, you can get it converted there also if there is a provision. Or you need to convert the currencies here only and go. Now what is there, people? Don't you think there is a risk? So what people will do, they go and they give a rupee to a bank. How much? Assume you will give around 10 lakh rupees. Now you will request the bank to give you two things. It can be either of this. One, they will give you a checkbook type of thing. Just like your checkbook, on every check, now this checkbook, there will be check leaves. Every check leaf will have various denominations, $10, $100, $500, $1,000. So they will give you a checkbook. Now people, instead of carrying money, you can carry this checkbook. Wherever you want to make the payment, you can take the traveler's check, you can sign it on it and you can give it to him. That person will accept. It will be equivalent to currency. You can go to hotels there, they will accept it. Sir, what is the difference? People, risk is less. Even if you lose, you will not lose it because signature is very important. The person, whoever accepts your checkbook, that is your this check, that person needs to authenticate that whether it is your signature or not. It used to be there, people. This is called as traveler's check. Now the same thing what happened now in today's reality, they will give you a card. This is called as traveler's card. Same thing, people. They will take money from you. They will put all that money into an account, and for that they will give you a card. Wherever you want, you can go and swipe and the money will be automatically debited. So for example, ICICI gives you a traveler's card which you can go and use it in 14 countries. So in that rupee will be there, but when you go and draw in that particular country, whatever is their currency, in that currency it will be paid on that day's exchange rate. That is called as traveler's check or traveler's card. Is this clear? Yes, people. So when they say currency notes, our next definition, currency notes also includes, currency notes means and includes cash in the form of coins as well as bank notes. So for the FEMA perspective, currency notes includes coins as well as bank notes. So current account transaction will be seen later. Foreign currency means any currency other than Indian currency is called foreign currency. So apart from rupee, any other currency is foreign currency. Foreign exchange. Sir, what do you mean by foreign exchange? Foreign exchange means foreign currency. Foreign exchange means foreign currency, and it also includes any deposits, any credit, your bank deposits, or any credit, loan, or any balance payable in foreign currency. So sir, any deposits or credits or any money payable, if at all it is payable in foreign currency, it is called as what, sir? Foreign exchange. So next one, draft, traveler's check, letter of credit, bills of exchange, expressed or drawn in Indian currency but payable in foreign currency. This is what I told you. Imagine the traveler's check. It will be written as say Indian currency. Sir, the traveler's card I told you, you will go and deposit it in Indian currency. You can go and draw it in 14 currencies. So it is expressed in Indian currencies, but when you want to pay it, it will be payable in foreign currencies. That is, whichever country you go and pay, it will be paid in that one. So even they are called as foreign exchange. Sir, draft, traveler's check, letter of credit, bills of exchange drawn by bank, institutions or person outside India but payable in Indian currency. Meaning, sir, now here we are taking our Indian currency and going and spending outside India. In this one, they are bringing in dollars into India. So they are bringing in dollars and converting it into Indian rupees through the same thing. This is same. So this is us going and spending there. This is they coming and spending here. That's the only difference. Clear, all of you? So I've given you certain examples. Practice question, Mr. X, PRI was dealing as follows. Deposit with Mr. Y, a PROI, $30,000. So our person has deposited some currency with a person resident outside India. So this PRI, PROI do not bother as of now because I have not taught you it. That will be our next topic. Yeah. So sir, deposit. Indian, assume people, a person who is staying in India has made a deposit to a person outside India. This is our first one, no? Deposits payable in foreign currency. So you have paid in foreign currency, $30,000. It is a foreign exchange. Our PRI took credit from Swiss Bank. So credit also is there, no? Payable in foreign currency. Sir, it is a foreign exchange. You have a traveler's card for 2 lakh rupees. So people, traveler's card, whether it is being expressed in Indian currency, but it will be converted to foreign currency, no? So even this will be considered as forex. Then why else did you take traveler's card? To roam around in India, no one will take traveler's card. Why? You can take debit card instead. Why will you take traveler's card? So all three are foreign exchanges. Is this clear, all of you? So the next one, foreign security. People, securities means your any stock, shares, bonds, debentures. Yeah. So foreign stocks, foreign shares, foreign debentures are called foreign securities. So any security in the form of share, stock, bond, debentures denominated or expressed in foreign currency. So sir, on the face of it, it is expressed as, say for example, 5,000 debentures, face value $10. Yeah. It also includes any securities expressed in foreign currency, but where redemption or any form of return such as interest or dividends payable in Indian currency. What do you mean by that? People, on the face of it, if it is expressed in foreign currency, how do you repay it is not at all our concern. Repay or return on investment. If at all it is expressed on the face of it, when you purchased on the certificate, if it is written in dollars, it is a foreign security. Whether you repay it in Indian currency or dollar, it is none of our concern. Whether the dividend or interest, whatever you pay, if it is in rupee or dollar, it is none of our concern. End of the day, if a security is denominated in a foreign currency, it is a foreign security. That is what they are defining here. Definition, simple. Person resident outside India means a person who is not resident in India. Good definitions, no? What is a foreign currency? A currency which is not an Indian currency. Who is a person resident outside India? A person who is not resident in India. Good definitions. Yeah. Okay. Repatriation, again we'll do it later. Yes. Okay. Now, listen to this carefully. What is that, sir? People, listen to this carefully. Okay. Now, people, assume you, sir, after CA, you get married. Sir, you, that is, it can be husband and wife. Sir, you want to go on a trip to, say for example, some foreign country. Sir, you want to go to a trip to foreign country. Sir, where shall we send you? Okay, the best destination, sir. Okay, assume you guys are planning to go to Afghanistan. Yeah, I'm just giving you an example. Yes, sir. So you guys plan to go to Afghanistan. Yes, sir. Now, people, Afghanistan people, they will have their own currency. Now, do you have that currency with you? Can you go and directly spend your currency there? Not possible. So people, before going abroad, tourism, first thing you need to go and you need to get your currency converted to a foreign currency. Depending upon the place you go, generally all the tourists, instead of converting it to their currency, they will get it converted to dollars. Why, people? Because dollar is called as a vehicle currency, meaning it is accepted in any country. So why take risk? So they will get it converted to dollar, they will go and pay it in dollars. So sir, foreign currency. You go and you give your Indian rupee, in return you will get foreign currency. Simple, understood the transaction? Okay. Now the question is, sir, where will you get this changed? Where will you go and give this rupee and where will you get the foreign currency? Remember this, people, in India, you cannot go and get it exchanged wherever you want. In the same way, no person in India, only there are a few people who can take Indian currency and give you foreign currency. Even giving to a random person is a fraud. It is a punishable offense. Even accepting a foreign, taking Indian currency and you giving someone, even that is a crime. You cannot do it. So meaning what, sir? People, listen carefully. Whenever you want to get your money exchanged, you get it exchanged with a person called as authorized person. The name itself indicates, right? He is an authorized person. Sir, what do you mean by authorized person? People, listen carefully. In FEMA, just like Companies Act has ROC to take care, regional directors to take care. In FEMA, someone should take care like that, right? If something happens, there should be someone. So people, for now I'll tell you, under FEMA there is one person who will take care or overlook things. This person is RBI. Yes sir, in certain places central government will also come. With regards to foreign currency, central government will also come. So these people, generally it is RBI. RBI will regulate the foreign exchange related matters. Okay sir, how does this happen? People, there is a person called as authorized person. Sir, now who is this authorized person? Anyone who wants to get involved in this money exchanging process, any person, it can be any person, he needs to file an application to RBI. Sir, I want to do this money exchanging job. Please give me an approval. RBI will give him a grant or certificate of approval to do or to become an authorized person. Now this person become an authorized person. How sir? RBI gives, assume, a certificate in this regard. Along with certificate, RBI specifies the terms and conditions what he needs to comply with. Okay sir. Now people, this authorized person are of three types. There can be three types of authorized persons. All that we'll see. So this authorized person will work under RBI. Whatever RBI says, this person should listen. Any directions RBI issues, this person should listen. Now sir, going forward, this person can get involved in money exchange business. Exchange sir, take rupee, give dollar, or take dollar, give rupee. Whatever is that, whatever deems fit. So this person is called as authorized person. Clear people? So this is what we are going to study. Now listen carefully. Sir, authorized person. In India people, not only in India, this applies to most of the countries. Whenever you want to exchange money, you cannot go to any random place. You have to go to only authorized person. If you get a money exchange from any third party, people, that is not legal. Yeah, it is not legal. If authorities get to know, you can be even punished for that. You have to go and give currency only to a authorized person. Remember this. Okay, sir. Now what does it say? People, listen carefully. Authorized person is defined under section 2 clause C of the act. Who is he? He is an authorized dealer, a money changer, or an offshore banking unit, or any other person. Sir, who is authorized person? He is an authorized dealer. He is an authorized dealer. He can be a money changer. Sir, or he can be a offshore banking unit. He can be a offshore banking unit. Yes, people. Now, what do you mean by this? So, people, who can be authorized person? Any person can be authorized person. Under authorized person, you have three categories. One is authorized dealer. The second one is money changer. The third one is offshore banking unit. So, who are those authorized dealers? Generally, people, authorized dealers in most of the cases will be banks. So no one else can become a, no, I'm not saying that, but most of the cases, for your example, banks. Sir, which bank? People, ICICI Bank, HSBC Bank, all these people are authorized dealers only. They take money, they can give you foreign currency. That is valid. Yes, sir. So authorized dealer means people, he is basically like a bank. Yes, sir. So the next person is called as a money changer. Who is this money changer? People, money changer, if you guys go to this MG road, yeah, if you are from Bangalore, if you guys go to MG road, Yeah, you will find various shops, private shops where they would have put a board saying that money exchangers, and they would have put what is today's rate of the dollar. So people, they are your people other than banks. So these can be private people, your private businesses. So money changers, they do not have FDs, saving banks and all. Then you go and give rupee, they will take certain declarations, they will make you sign some forms, and they will give you whatever currency you guys want. So they are called money changers. So the last person is called as offshore banking unit. So who is this offshore banking unit? People, they are banks only. They are banks only. Sir, what do? They deal in your foreign currencies and securities. They deal in your foreign currency and security. Foreign securities. Sir, that is what even authorized dealer do, no? Even this is a bank. Even this person deals in foreign currency and security. What is the difference? People listen to this very carefully. Offshore banking unit means it is a bank, correct? But where is this bank set up? It is not set up anywhere in India. Means people, they are exclusively set up in special economic zones. I guess you guys have heard of SEZ, SEZ. Sir, these banks are specifically set up under special economic zone. Now, sir, what do you mean by offshore banking unit? Imagine a person gives an application. Who is giving? Assume ICICI Bank is giving an application. For example, if you are from Bangalore, there is a place in Bangalore called as Electronic City. That entire area is a SEZ, SEZ. Yes, sir. Now imagine there is ICICI Bank. So ICICI Bank writes an application to RBI. Sir, I want to act as an offshore banking unit. If RBI gives a permission, he will set up one bank in SEZ, that is in that Electronic City. Now what will that ICICI Bank do there? People, they provide forex services. This offshore banking unit, whatever we saw, they provide this forex services to the units in SEZ. Sir, what do you mean by this units? In very layman's terminology, assume these as offices. Whoever are the offices, shops, people in that special economic zone, they provide services only to them. Sir, what do you mean? Imagine people in Bangalore, there is a place called Electronic City. Now government has notified this as SEZ. Now I live in a place a little far from here. Assume this is Koramangala. There is one more place. Okay, let us take a simple name. Assume this is a 4th block. This is a different place. Now imagine there is one offshore banking unit here. There is one offshore banking unit here. So people, this offshore banking unit, it has to give services only within this line. Sir, what do you mean by that? Imagine I wanted some foreign currencies. Sir, can I go and ask the offshore banking unit which is set up in SEZ? The first question, do I belong to SEZ? The answer is no. Then you will not get foreign currency. They will say whatever, however you came, you go back like that only. Okay, sir, I'll go back. So what do you mean? Offshore banking unit will provide facilities and services only to those people who are established in SEZ and into no one else. Understood, all of you? So sir, authorized person, any person who files an application to RBI to act as an authorized person. Authorized person, there are 3 types. One is called authorized dealer, generally commercial banks. At certain times cooperative societies will also do that job, but yes, most of it will be banks. And next one is money changer. Money changer are your private people where they take money and they will give it whatever currency you want. Offshore banking units, again they are the banks which are set up in your SEZ. Is this clear? All of you? Pakka? Yes, sir. So people, I've given you examples. See, authorized dealer. See ICICI Bank. See money changer. There is something called Orient Exchange. So see what they do. They buy, they sell, they do everything. Yeah. See, buy currency or card, sell currency. So reload forex card, your traveler's card. So you can recharge and all that. You can use that. Is this clear, all of you? So these are your money changers. So offshore banking unit people, offshore banking unit, generally these people only, they set up their business in SCZ. So that is the reason I did not give you a separate one. Is this clear, all of you? So, sir, authorized dealer, money changer, offshore banking unit, or any other person authorized to deal in foreign exchange or foreign securities is called as authorized person. Okay, sir. Sir, what is an offshore banking unit? Now, whatever I said you, an offshore banking unit means a branch of a bank in India, ICICI set up, which is in India only, located in special economic zone. Although the offshore banking unit may have a license to operate as authorized dealer, it shall not be regarded as an authorized dealer. They will be authorized to just act like authorized dealers only. But when you're calling them, they are not called as authorized dealer. Why? There is a name given to them, no? Offshore banking unit. You call it with that name. Third one, it shall not conduct any activity or any transaction with residents in India. So people, your transactions has to be only within that SCZ. You should not step out. Our fourth block example. However, people, this is important. What is this? Imagine, sir, there is an offshore banking unit here. Okay. Assume in fourth block, there is an authorized dealer. Assume there is one more bank which is authorized dealer. The offshore banking unit can do transaction with this authorized dealer. Even if he is outside SCZ, they can do a transaction with authorized dealer. But they cannot do it anyone apart from the authorized dealer. Out of your SCZ. Inside SCZ, do with whatever you want. But beyond SCZ, you can do a transaction only and only with the authorized dealer. That is what is given in this point. Read. An offshore banking unit may undertake any transaction with any authorized dealer in India on principal to principal basis. That is, you can exchange money between these two, but not with anyone else. Offshore banking units are meant to facilitate units. Units here means offices in SCZ and may undertake transactions in foreign exchange with a unit which is in SCZ. Understood, all of you? Pakka? Okay. Yeah. Authorized person people. Sections are section 10 to 12. Not very important, but yes, just have a knowledge and go. Sir, appointment of authorized person. RBI has the power to appoint authorized person. RBI has the power to appoint authorized person. Sir, how? First one, any person may file an application to RBI. For what, sir? To deal in foreign exchange or foreign securities. So any person can file an application to deal in foreign securities or foreign exchange. And you have to also specify what do you want to work as. Is it authorized dealer or is it a money changer or is it offshore banking unit? Any such authorization made by RBI shall be in writing. Now what will RBI do? RBI will give you authorization. Okay, sir. And it will give authorization in writing. RBI will give the authorization and it will be given with certain conditions. Authorized person should follow those conditions as well. Sir, authorized person shall comply with the directions of the RBI. Whatever is the directions issued by RBI from time to time, he has to comply with all of that. An authorized person must, in all his dealings in foreign exchange or foreign security, comply with whatever is the general or special directions issued by RBI. Yes, sir. Also, except with the previous permission of the Reserve Bank, an authorized person may not engage in any transaction involving forex which is not in conformity with the terms of his authorization. Meaning what, sir? Whenever the terms and conditions are given to you to function as an authorized person, they would have given you the restriction also. RBI would have given you certain restrictions. Now, if you want to cross those restrictions, they are saying first take prior approval of RBI. Without taking prior approval of RBI, you cannot do what you are not authorized to do. That is what they have given. Okay, sir. Now, people, listen carefully. People, listen carefully. Whenever, okay, sir, now you and your wife, you guys want to go on a trip. Yes, sir. For that, you need a foreign currency. Yes, sir. People, when you want a foreign currency, assume you go to a money changer. Or it can be authorized dealer, whoever it is. You went to a money changer. The money changer people, before giving you foreign currency, he will give you one form. Sir, what is this form? This form is declaration form, people. Sir, what is this declaration about? People, in this declaration, he will ask you what is the purpose of your drawal. He will ask you, why are you drawing foreign currency? People, remember that particular reserve maintained by RBI. If at all money is going down, if at all foreign currency is being given to him, so then they will question you, people. I told you there will be a lot of questions asked. So there will be declaration you need to give. Why do you want this money? They will not stop you. Just give declaration. You will be saying that I want it for tourism purpose. You will be saying I want it for tourism purpose. Clear? Simple? Okay. Now, people, always remember, if at all you do not give a declaration, the money changer or whoever is the authorized person, on the same form he will write and give it to you. I will not give you the currency, do whatever you want. So without declaration, there is no foreign currency. Not only that, if the money changer, he gets even a slightest hint that you guys are doing some fraud. You are doing some non-compliance. You are taking currency here and you want to go and sell it in the public. You know, you want to set up your own this thing. You want to sell it in the private. So the money changer gets this vibe from you. He can straight away file a complaint on you with RBI. This will be considered as non-compliance and you will be subjected to the whatever is the penalty given under this particular section. Understood this declaration part? That is what is given here. Quickly read with me. Before commencement of any transaction on behalf of any person, an authorized person must insist that the person should make a declaration and give whatever information is required in order to satisfy him that the transaction will not involve and is not designed to contravene or evade the provisions of this act. So why do you want this money? The money changer or the authorized person will satisfy himself, yes, if I give him this money, he will not misuse it. Yes, sir. If such person refuses to abide by such requirement, so you guys won't give a declaration, then the authorized person shall refuse in writing to undertake the transaction. He says that I will not give you money, do whatever you want. If the authorized person has reason to believe that these two people will make any contravention or you will evade this particular act, then the authorized person shall report the matter to the Reserve Bank of India. Is this clear? This is what we saw. Yeah. If at all you guys get some negative vibe, the authorized person gets some negative vibe from you, he will go and report it to RBI. Now, sir, okay, sir, we'll do one thing. We will write it as tourism here. We will take the money. Will he come and check whether we went or not? Will he come and check? So people, the next one. If any person who has purchased or somehow you have got the foreign currency for any purpose mentioned in the declaration made by him to the authorized person. So you have made a declaration. Okay. If you do not use it for the purpose you have declared, or you have got the foreign currency. How? Somewhere, people, you got the foreign currency. Imagine you have a brother out of India. He has gifted you some foreign currency. You went there to go for a tourism. Yeah. You got some gift. You have some foreign currency left. I'll be telling it to you later point of time, but now only I tell you. Remember, at no given point of time, any person cannot hold more than $2,000 with him. This is the maximum foreign currency you can hold. Anything above that, you need to go and you need to get it exchanged to rupees. You cannot have it with you. So, sir, assume you have gone to a trip. After coming back, you still have excess currency. You have to come and surrender it. You have a specified period for that. You cannot even keep it for a very long time. It is not there in your syllabus, but there is a period given for that. Yeah, I'll see if possible. I'll tell you in one part of the place. Yeah, or sir, you do not use it for the purpose you mentioned, or you use the foreign currency for any purpose for which it is not permissible under the act. Sir, what is the difference between these two? People, the first one, you are telling that I want it for tourism, but you are using it for buying a foreign security. You are buying it for buying debentures. The third one, you are taking foreign currency. You are saying it that I will be using it for tourism. But why did you use it? People, in FEMA, there are certain prohibitions. You should not use your foreign currency to invest in these places. The third one is telling about that. First one, you used it for some other purpose, but third one, you are using it for a restricted purpose. You are not supposed to use it. If you have done any of these three things, then it is considered as a non-compliance. So non-compliance, there will be a penalty. Penalty provision will be seeing much later. But till now, is this clear? All of you? Okay, sir. Sir, authority who has a power to give you license also has a power to take back the license. That is called as revocation of authorization by RBI. So if it is satisfied to RBI people that in the public interest you are not doing a good job, I have to take back your authorization, RBI can take back. Second one, if the authorized person has failed to comply with the conditions, you remember the terms and conditions, whatever was given along with your along with your certificate, there were terms and conditions which was imposed by RBI. You have not complied with that terms and condition which is imposed by RBI to you. Okay, sir. Third one, the authorized person has contravened the provisions of this act. Second one, you have contravened the authorization, that certificate. Third one, you have contravened the provision of the act, order, rules, regulations, or any directions given under this particular act. So, sir, listen carefully. On the first ground, RBI can straight away, even without listening to you, it can take back, it can revoke your license. Under the second and third, if RBI wants to revoke your authorization, it has to give you an opportunity of being heard. That is, under second and third ground, RBI should give you an opportunity of being heard. Why were you not able to follow? That should be asked. That is what is given here. An authorization shall be revoked on the grounds mentioned in 2 and 3, these two, only after giving a reasonable opportunity of being heard. Is this clear, all of you? Yes? Okay, sir. Section 11, a small one, Reserve Bank's power to issue directions to authorized person. Reserve Bank people, whenever it feels that it is necessary, RBI may issue directions to authorized person. Sir, what direction? The direction with regards to, make these provisions more strict. RBI feels that no, something is going wrong. It will try to screw up and it will try to make the compliances little strict. So it may issue directions with regards to making payment by authorized person, authorized person going forward. Whenever you want to make a payment, make sure you take some additional documents like ask for their PAN card, ask for their passport. So RBI can issue directions with regards to making payment by the authorized person. Second one, it can issue directions for doing or desisting. Desisting means stop from doing anything. Basically, if you are doing anything, it may tell you to stop. Desisting from doing anything, cease and desist, if you remember. Cease means stop, people. Desist means do not repeat. Not to repeat is called desist. do not again do it. So it can give a direction with regards to making payment or to stop something what it is doing or not to repeat it again. Yes, or it may ask for such information whatever RBI wants from an authorized person. So what if, now imagine RBI has asked for some information from authorized person. Authorized person has not given. Now what to do? Section 12 comes into picture. Power of Reserve Bank to inspect authorized person. So people, RBI will come and inspect the authorized person now. When if RBI feels that it is necessary to cause an inspection into the business of the authorized person, RBI will appoint any officer who will conduct this particular inspection on behalf of RBI. Now, sir, for what this inspection can be made? It can be made for the following purpose. The first one, sir, this authorized person is filing various reports and returns and filings with RBI. Whatever he is filing, are they true? So RBI can appoint a person to go and verify of the correctness of any statement, information or anything which he has given to RBI. So whatever you have been filing so far, are they true? RBI may ask a person to go and inspect that. Second one, sir, RBI has asked for information here, but that person did not provide. RBI may appoint a person to go and get that information. Obtaining any information which such authorized person has failed to give on being called upon to do so. RBI asks, this person did not give, it can appoint an officer to do the inspection and get those documents. Third one, sir, at any given point of time, RBI feels this authorized person is not complying with the law properly, it can appoint a officer to go and inspect and make sure that the authorized person will follow the law properly. That is called securing compliance. Okay, sir. Whenever an officer is appointed by RBI to conduct an inspection, it is the duty of the authorized person or authorized dealer, money changer, offshore banking unit. It is their duty to cooperate. It is their duty to cooperate, to give any books, documents, accounts or any statements, whatever is asked by the officer. So this is your authorized person. In short, what did you see, people? First one, what is authorized person? Defined under 2 clause C. Authorized person means a person who is authorized by RBI to conduct the activity of foreign exchange or foreign security. Correct? So who are they? So it can be money changer, authorized dealer or offshore banking unit or any other person authorized by RBI. Yeah, sir. And then what did we see? We saw offshore banking unit. Offshore banking unit is a branch of a bank in India which is set up in SEZ. They cannot do any transaction with residents of India, but they can do a transaction with authorized dealer on principal to principal basis. Sir, offshore banking units are meant to facilitate units in SEZ. Yes, sir. Appointment of authorized persons, or how will this happen? Any person can file an application to RBI to act as an authorized person and deal in foreign exchange and foreign securities. RBI may give an authorization. RBI also has the right to take back the authorization. The authorization comes with certain terms and conditions. Authorized person at any given point of time before going ahead with the transaction, he has to demand for a declaration why that money will be used. If at all there is any suspicion, he can complain to RBI. If such person fails to abide, yes sir, it can report to RBI. If at all at any given point of time, if you do not use the money in what, as per what your declaration is, you do not use it for that purpose, or if you do not surrender within the time, or you are using it for any purpose for which there is no permission, that is, there is prohibition. So if you are using it for that, you are liable for penalty. Revocation, it will be taken back in public interest, or you have failed to comply with the conditions given in authorization, or you have failed to comply with the provisions of the act. 2 and 3, opportunity of being heard is mandatory. Reserve Bank's power to issue directions to authorized person in making payment, or from stopping from doing something, or desisting from doing anything. Yes sir, power of RBI to appoint inspecting officers, or on what grounds? For verifying whether whatever is correctness of the documents or anything which is filed. Second one, obtaining any information which it had called but he has not given. Third one, securing compliance with the provision. Everyone is duty bound, that is, everyone has to cooperate with the inspecting authority in giving the documents or records whatever he asks for. So this is your authorized person. I hope it was clear. Pakka, all of you. So quickly read this once and come to the next topic. Do not like that only continue. Next one is a little difficult topic. So read and come.